Hey everyone, and welcome back. We've had a lot of questions rolling in about what it really takes to make it in logistics and distribution management. So today we're diving deep into that world, and let me tell you, with the info we've got from RoleCatcher, this is way more than just, does this package fit on that truck?
Right, right. It's a fascinating field, really, and we're going to unpack all of it. What these managers actually do every day, how tech is shaking things up. Oh, and of course, we'll cover how to stand out from the crowd if you think this might be the career for you.
Okay, so let's start with the basics.
Hmm.
When we say logistics and distribution manager, what exactly are we talking about?
Well, picture this. That product you ordered online. Its journey from, the factory all the way to your doorstep. Logistics and distribution managers, they're the ones who make that whole journey happen. They're orchestrating every single step, making sure that flow of goods is, smooth and efficient.
Okay, so it's not just about warehouses and delivery trucks then. Not even close. It's about understanding crazy complex systems, optimizing routes, managing inventory. And yeah, a big part of it now is staying on top of all this new tech, like AI software. That's really changing the game.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. So how is AI actually being used out there in the field?
One really cool example is route optimization. And we're not just talking about like finding the shortest route on Google Maps, right?
Mm.
Think about a program that looks at real-time traffic, the weather, even like fuel prices, to find the absolute best route for those delivery trucks. It's about saving companies a ton of money and time.
That's incredible. I can see why people are so interested in this field now, but RoleCatcher, they don't sugarcoat it, right? They talk about the challenges too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This isn't your typical 9 to 5 gig. It's demanding, things move fast, and you got to be able to think on your feet, make decisions under pressure.
So not for the faint of heart then, huh?
Well, it takes a certain kind of person to really thrive in that kind of environment. Someone who's adaptable, resourceful, comfortable when things are constantly changing.
Mm.
But, that's also what makes it so exciting.
Okay, I gotta ask though, if it's that demanding, what are the rewards that make it all worthwhile?
Well, first off, that sense of accomplishment is huge. You know,
Mm.
you're a vital part of getting those products to people who need them. That feels good. And on a more practical level, the demand is high, which
Yeah.
means good salaries and tons of room to grow in your career.
So you can really climb the ladder in this field. Rollcatcher goes into career stages, right? What are some of those typical steps you can take?
Yeah, they do. You might start as a logistics coordinator, entry level, maybe focusing on inventory or something. Then as you gain experience, you could become a supervisor, maybe overseeing a team at a warehouse or distribution center.
And from there, potentially leading entire logistics operations for major companies.
Exactly. And what's cool is that RoleCatcher gives you these real-life examples of people at all these different stages in their careers. They share their stories, the challenges, the skills they developed. It really gives you a feel for what's possible.
I like that. It's one thing to read a job description, right? It's another thing to see how someone actually built a career from the ground up. But let's be honest, getting started in any field is tough.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
It's like they all want experience. But how do you get experience if no one gives you a shot?
Exactly. What I found interesting is that RoleCatcher talks about building a portfolio, like showing your accomplishments, even without years of experience.
That's so important. You got to show potential employers what you can do.
Mm.
And a portfolio is a fantastic way to do that.
So instead of just saying you're organized and good with details, you actually show them a project where you streamlined a process or maybe implemented a new inventory system.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be some massive company project. Even
Right.
stuff from school or volunteer work, it shows initiative, problem-solving skills.
That's a good point. And RoleCatcher goes even further, suggesting that people interested in this should think about becoming thought leaders in logistics.
It might sound intimidating, but it's really not as hard as you might think. And honestly, it can make you stand out in a big way.
So how does someone become a thought leader in logistics?
It's all about sharing what you know, your insights, with other professionals. It could be writing articles, participating in online groups, maybe even speaking at a conference.
Showing your passion, basically, and that you want to contribute to the bigger conversation.
Absolutely. It shows you're not just looking for any job, you're invested in the industry, you care about its future.
I'm realizing this career is about so much more than just moving things around. It's problem solving, it's innovation, even being a thought leader, like you said.
It really is. And as technology keeps changing, logistics and distribution managers are going to be even more important, more vital.
That's a great point, and it makes me think, how do you even begin to prepare for a career that's changing that fast?
That is where RoleCatcher's AI tools come in. It's a real game changer, especially for interview prep.
We've mentioned RoleCatcher a lot, but for those who aren't familiar, can you give us a rundown of their platform? What makes it different?
Sure. RoleCatcher isn't just giving generic career advice. They've got this AI-powered platform that's personalized, data-driven, and just super insightful.
Okay, now I'm intrigued. Tell me more about these AI-powered features. How do they work?
Think of it like having your own personal career coach available 24/7. That's kind of what RoleCatcher's AI is like.
I like that. So it's guiding you through the entire process, figuring out your strengths and weaknesses, helping you master those interviews.
Yes. And it starts with this massive database they have, over 120,000 practice interview questions, all organized by industry and job title.
Wait, 120,000? That's a lot. How do you even know where to begin with that many questions?
That's the cool part. Their AI looks at your profile, what jobs you want, even specific job descriptions to pick out the most important practice questions for you.
So it's not just throwing random questions at you. It's like a tailored practice experience, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it gets even better. RoleCatcher's AI, it doesn't just like ask the questions. It looks at your answers, gives you feedback, tells you how to improve.
Wow, that's huge. I mean, practicing is one thing, but getting that kind of personalized feedback, it's almost like having a virtual mock interview with an expert, right?
Exactly. And, this is really where RoleCatcher is different from those other AI tools like ChatGPT. ChatGPT can give you some general tips, sure, but it doesn't have that industry-specific knowledge that RoleCatcher's AI has.
Right, right. ChatGPT might tell you how to answer a question about teamwork, but RoleCatcher can tell you how to answer it if you're, say, managing a team in a warehouse or working with, like, global suppliers.
Exactly. And that level of detail, it makes a huge difference when you're competing for jobs.
Absolutely. So we've talked about what these managers do, the challenges, the rewards, even how to get your foot in the door. But let's step back for a second. What are some of the big trends shaping the future of this whole field?
Well, we talked about the tech revolution already, but honestly, that's just the beginning. One huge trend is e-commerce.
Hmm.
People are buying more online than ever, which means we need like super efficient delivery systems.
That's a good point. I mean, think about how much our own online shopping habits have changed. We expect things to arrive at our door in like a couple of days now, sometimes even hours.
Right. And that puts so much pressure on these companies to make their supply chains faster, more efficient. We're talking about things like same-day delivery, using drones, even like self-driving trucks making deliveries.
It sounds like something out of a movie, but it's happening now. So what does all that mean for people who want to be logistics and distribution managers? What skills will they need?
Adaptability. Things change fast, so you have to be able to learn new tech and adjust to new ways of working. And of course, understanding data analytics is going to be huge.
So it's not just about like the physical goods anymore. It's also about analyzing all that data to optimize the entire process, right?
Absolutely. These managers are becoming like data scientists using algorithms and all that to make decisions.
Wow, that's interesting. RoleCatcher mentions something called supply chain visibility. Can you explain that? What is that and why is it important?
Sure. Basically, it means you can track where a product is at any point in its journey, from the raw materials all the way to the customer. And the tech now, it's making that level of transparency possible.
So like I could see exactly where my package is on a map, maybe even like what temperature it is.
Exactly. And it's not just about efficiency. It's about building trust with customers, managing risks, making sure those goods are high quality and safe.
That makes sense. People want to know where their stuff is coming from and how it's getting to them.
Right. And it's not just about customers either. It's about following regulations,
Yeah.
environmental impact, even dealing with like natural disasters or pandemics.
Wow, so this role is becoming more complex all the time.
Definitely. It takes a lot of expertise, but it can be incredibly rewarding.
That's a perfect way to put it.
And like we said before, this industry is only going to get more important, more complex in the future. So if you have the right skills and the drive, there's so much opportunity.
That's really encouraging to hear. Okay, so we've established that this is a career path where you're always learning, but also one with huge potential. What about like the personal qualities? What does it take to really succeed as a logistics and distribution manager besides just the technical skills?
Well, you need to be a great communicator. You're talking to everyone, from the people on the warehouse floor to CEOs. So you have to get your point across clearly.
Makes sense. You're leading a complex operation. You have to be able to explain your vision and inspire your team.
Exactly. And then there's problem solving. Let's be real, in logistics, things rarely go perfectly to plan. You need to be able to think on your feet, be creative, and stay calm when things get stressful.
So you're saying it's a career for people who like a little bit of like organized chaos?
Yeah, you could say that. It's definitely not for people who need things to be predictable all the time.
RoleCatcher says you need to have a bias for action. What do they mean by that?
To me, it means being proactive. You see a problem, you take charge and fix it. In logistics, you often don't have time to wait around for someone else to tell you what to do.
Gotcha. So not a role for people who like to sit back and wait for instructions.
Definitely not. You have to be a self-starter, find solutions, take ownership.
Okay, so we're talking about a career that needs a mix of things, right? Technical know-how, people skills, and a lot of grit and determination. But for people who have all that, the rewards can be huge.
Absolutely. Knowing you're playing a vital role in keeping things running smoothly, it gives you a sense of purpose.
That's a great way to put it.
And like we've been saying, the industry is only going to get more important, more complex as we go, so the opportunities are endless if you're prepared.
That's awesome for anyone thinking about this field. But before we wrap up, I want to come back to AI and how it's changing the game in logistics.
Yeah, definitely a topic worth digging into a bit more.
Right. We talked about how RoleCatcher uses AI for career development, but I'm curious about how it's being used by the companies themselves.
Good point. It's one thing to use AI to get the job. It's another to use it to be great at the job, right?
Yeah.
And there are some seriously cool applications out there.
So you're saying AI could even be used for, like, customer-facing stuff, not just behind the scenes?
Oh, definitely. Think about it like chatbots answering customer questions about when their order is coming or, even helping them track their package in real time. That frees up the human customer service reps to deal with the really complicated issues.
Right, that makes sense. It's like using AI to make things more efficient, not necessarily replace people altogether.
Exactly. And it goes way beyond just customer service, too. AI can be used to make warehouses run smoother, predict when delivery vehicles need maintenance. It can even find, like, patterns in all that supply chain data, stuff that humans might miss.
Wow. This sounds like AI is going to change everything about this industry, but if you're just starting out, it's going to be a little intimidating.
Right.
Keeping up with all that.
Oh, for sure. It can feel overwhelming. But that's where, a platform like RoleCatcher can really help. They're always updating their stuff to show the newest trends in technology.
So it's not just like a one-time thing. It's a resource you can keep using.
Yeah, exactly. And their AI tools, those can help you stay ahead of the game by suggesting courses, articles, even connecting you with people who are already working in the field.
That's really cool. It's like having a personalized plan for, navigating this whole world of logistics and distribution. But okay, even with all the taste skills and the AI and everything, there's one more thing I wanted to ask about.
What's that?
The human side of things. Because at the end of the day, logistics is about people getting the stuff they need, right? What advice would you give someone who wants to make a real difference in this field, not just, get promoted?
Oh, that's so important. It's not just about boxes and trucks. It's about how those things actually impact people's lives. My advice, don't lose sight of that bigger picture.
What do you mean by that?
Well, think about how vital logistics is for things like disaster relief, getting supplies to people who desperately need them. Or how about sustainable logistics, making the whole system better for the environment? Those are areas where logistics and distribution managers can really have a positive impact on the world.
That's a really great point. It's about using your skills for good, not just for, like, profit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that sense of purpose, that's what makes this career so rewarding.
I love that. Well, that's a fantastic note to end on. So, to everyone out there who's fascinated by this world of logistics, remember, it's a tough field, for sure, but it's also incredibly dynamic and rewarding.
And if you've got the skills, the drive, and you use the right tools and resources, you can achieve amazing things.
I couldn't agree more. A big thank you to RoleCatcher for giving us so much great information for this deep dive. And to all of you listening, thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.